The poem that I have in the anthology is called Holy Love, and I wrote that as part of a week-long study program that I was at this past summer, and called the Kohenet Hebrew Priestess Institute. And one of the archetypes we were looking at was the lover, and that led to a lot of reflection in this poem. Who are we when our holy love is pathologized? When we are told our very identity is wrong, that we are sexual predators, that we are pedophiles, that we are gay men, that it is only autogynephilia, that it is based on a desire to fetishize our own genitalia, that we are intrinsically disordered, that it is something to be cured, done away with. Who are we when our holy love is reduced to our genitals, when we are told that they only exist to trap straight men, when TERFs and conservatives tell us that the genitals we were born with define us, that we have always been men, that we are still men, that we will always be men, that we mutilate ourselves, that we deceive ourselves in thinking we are women, that we must accept what God gave us when we were born. Who are we when our holy love is a source of pain, when our sexual organs are not those that our identity and soul require, when our genitals are seen as that of men, when we can barely touch our genitals, when we can barely look at ourselves in the mirror,
when our voice is a deep bass,
when having to shave our face causes pain, when we cannot bear others touching our body, when our bodies will never be feminine enough. Who are we when our holy love is content with our body, when our factory standard genitals are not a source of discomfort, when they can be touched as part of our holy love, when we do not want to change them, when they are a source of pleasure, when we are more than our genitals, when we love our voice and
embrace its depths,
when our bodies are feminine enough, when our whole body is a source of pleasure. Who are we when our holy love is told it cannot embrace the divine, when we are told we are abominations in the sight of God, when we are told that we must be men, when we are told that we must pray away the trans, when we are told we are not welcome in synagogue, when we are told we are not welcome in mosques, when we are told we are not welcome in churches, when we are told we cannot be leaders in our faith tradition, when we are told our transitions cannot be celebrated. Who are we when we embrace holy love in our body? We are full human beings, able to be in the world. We are more than our genitals, and they do not define us. We are defiant of those who would demonize us for the genitals at birth. We are at peace with our bodies and their configuration. We are able to engage in physical manifestations of love. We are sexy, we are sensual, we make love with our bodies. We celebrate our bodies and their wonderful diversity. We are able to look in the mirror and hear our own voices. Who are we when we embrace holy love in our spirit? We are connected with who we are, embracing ourselves. We are reflections of the divine that is part of each person. We celebrate our transitions and identities in our spiritual communities. We are in relationships that nourish us and those around us. We are at peace with our identities, able to be who we are. We are nourished by the holy love we have for ourselves. We are healers of the world, bringing healing to others. We are lovers in every sense of the word. Changing gears a bit, bit. This is one that I'm going to be including in a book I'm currently working on that's more of a nonfiction based on my writings over the past almost 9 years. And this one I've called The Naming of Trans People. And let's see if you should be able to figure out where the inspiration for this came from. The naming of trans people is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first, I'm mad as a hatter when I tell you a trans person has at least 3 different names. First of all is the name they were given that their family uses daily, such as Joe, Mary, John, Alice, or Matthew, given by their parents based on what may be between their legs. Some are for boy children and some are for the girl children. Some are given that are not specifically for boys or girls. All of them names that seem sensible and are used by society, often names that become dead and buried, left to lie in memory, never to be repeated. Second is the name the trans person chooses, the trans person's name that is particular for them, that is them and allows them to have dignity. This name may be one that other trans people have chosen, or maybe it isn't. It may be masculine or maybe a masculine or feminine version of the name they had, or it may be something new, resonating with their very core. It is the name that should be used by family, by friends, by society. A name that may change as the person changes over time. Third is the name that the trans person knows deep in their soul that may never be guessed. They may know it themselves or may still be seeking it. A true name with power that grounds and strengthens, keeps us going when all seems hopeless. A name that, if one is lucky, may be shared with those they trust. A name that is theirs, deep and unique, that reflects who they are. And this one is one that's recently written, and it's called You Shall Not Pass. Looking through the mirror, a reflection looks back. Not really seen, not really me. A refrain passing through my head. You shall not pass. Going about the day, shopping, being called sir, getting stared at for using the loo, the stares and looks that sound like, you shall not pass. When out with trans people, there is gawking and staring, feeling not welcome, doors barred. We are a collection of Balrogs told, you shall not pass. Many try to get surgeries, insurance refuses to pay. Facial hair grows, not removed. The message from bean counters, you shall not pass. Moving in the world, apart from the world, the mind zigs where others zag, the odd one out, always hearing, you shall not pass. Shedding expectations, defiantly different, presenting a middle finger, refusing assimilation and saying, I will pass. Passing on my own terms, celebrating differences, working with them, defining success for myself, saying, I have passed. In the Jewish calendar, we're in the time of Hanukkah, and I believe this is the 6th night for people who are lighting candles. They would be lighting the 6 candles, and this was my project poem for this year's Hanukkah. I've also done it in a video form, and this is called From Darkness to Light. There is no light. All is darkness. Sensing the possibility of light, stumbling, not knowing where to go. Internal light has gone almost out, not knowing who or what I am. The first night, One candle is lit. The way is beginning to be shown. Pathways are still hidden from me, not knowing which way to go, but that there might be a way. 2 candles are lit. 2 nights now. The shadows flicker, revealing hints. Paths forward, teasing, enticing. Do I dare take the first steps? Fear of what lies ahead holds me back. 3 candles now on fire, 3 nights. Paths forward are visible now, scarier for all that they are seen, fading to black in the distance. Do I take a step? What is at the end? I touch the flame to the 4 candles. Magic starts to take hold of me. The paths are illuminated, shadows receding, concealing less. My body starts moving, still tentative. Walked all day. Now 5 candles burn. Shadows are not so terrifying. Seeking help on my way forward, it comes as I call out for aid. Alone, yet not alone, I rest. As I light 6 candles this night, I see that the path leads to truth. My truth beginning to shine forth, light casting back the shadows of hate, doors opening, showing the way on. 7 candles are burning bright. The light within is sustaining me, no longer furtive, but confident, moving onward, not going back, living my truth, true to myself. The Hanukkah is full, flaming, holding the light for all to see, inner light adding to the warmth. Others start to come forward now, together, lighting the way for all. And just to change speed a little bit, this is something fun I came up with a few years ago. It does reference body parts and might feel a little bit icky. There's a song around Hanukkah that has to do with dreidels. And it says something along the lines of dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and it goes on from there. And a few years ago in various discussions and supporting people and stuff, I came up with a different version that's trans women specific and specifically relates to bottom surgery, vaginoplasty. And I call it the Vulva Song. I have a little vulva, they made it out of penis, and when it's dry and ready, with vulva I will play. Oh, vulva, 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 they made you out of penis, and when it's dry and ready, with vulva I will play. And it's also a stab at the Ray Blanchard autogynephilia crowd. And I'll leave you with one last one that's fairly short. If my pages will cooperate. Be a man. What does it mean to be told to be a man? We are told that to be a man is to be strong, to be unemotional, to be an athlete good at sports. But what if you're not? What happens to the little boy told he's going to be a man, told to be tough, told to suck it up? What happens when that boy knows deep inside he isn't?